welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emily and I'm on a journey to become debt-free. Now, these last few videos have been a little different. I know I keep saying that, but oh, oven's ready. I really just want to give you guys like a little vlog style of today's, you know, for me it's Christmas Eve. You guys are watching this on Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas if you celebrate, Happy Holiday. Today I'm actually just gonna show you guys a few things today. So right now I'm making a tres leches. It's a 3 milks cake, right? And so like I mentioned before, I do like to bake. So I figured, I was like, well, if I gotta make it anyway, might as well bring everybody along. So I've already started like prepping everything. I actually got this recipe from somebody on YouTube a long time ago, and I fell in love with the recipe, so I kept it. I have it in my little book. So I have this book here where I keep all my recipes. You would see a lot of Tony Renee's recipes in here too, because I've been watching her Vlogmas and I was writing down all her recipes. First, what I did was I mixed in this bowl. I put the cake flour, the baking powder, and the salt. All right, and then in my mixing bowl over here, I have the 5 egg yolks, and I'm gonna combine the sugar, which is gonna be 3/4 cups of sugar, until it's like a pale yellow. So let me bring the camera over so you guys can see. All right, so you guys can see, I'm gonna start mixing the egg yolks. So I got 5 egg yolks. Very sweet cake, by the way. Very sweet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna beat this until it's like a pale yellow. Okay, so you see how it's like a pale yellow? I went ahead and I took a spatula and I just scraped down the sides a little bit. So to this we're gonna add a 1/3 cup of milk. Third of a cup of milk. And we're gonna add a teaspoon of just like plain old vanilla. All right, so I went ahead and put a 1/3 cup of milk and a teaspoon of vanilla. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this mixture and I'm gonna mix it in with my flour mixture. All right, so now I'm gonna take this mixture and put it in with my flour mix. Just smell that vanilla. It smells so good. Hope you guys could hear me because my AC is pretty loud. And it's right next to the kitchen. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is just mix this. Right, so it should look like that, right? So now let's go mix the egg whites. All right, so I have 5 egg whites in here. We're just gonna beat it until it gets fluffy. All right, so once it looks like that, that's when I wanna add the sugar. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of sugar. All right, guys, so this has been mixing for a few minutes. And you guys can see, I don't know if you can see, you see how it looks kind of glossy? So you want it to have stiff peaks. So stiff peaks means like when you pull it up, you see how it stays up down there? You see how that little point, you see how it stays up? Those are called stiff peaks. So that's what you want the consistency to be like. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna mix it in with my egg yolk mixture. All right, perfect. So now here we got the egg yolk mixture, right? And we're gonna take these egg whites and we're gonna fold it in with this. So what I do is I put it all in there. Guys, by the way, I'm not like a professional baker. So if you're, look how fluffy that is. If you're a professional baker, I apologize in advance if I'm not saying stuff correctly, but you know, I just did this as a hobby, so don't come at me in the comments, okay? So what I'm gonna do now is fold it into the other mixture. You don't want to mix it because you don't want it to lose that fluffiness. So I'm gonna split it in half and fold it over. And you do this over and over, gently, until you see no more white. So I'm gonna go here, cut it and fold it. See that? And you stay super fluffy. So cut it, fold it. Also, while I've been doing this, the oven was preheated to 350 degrees. I also took, sorry guys, I also took a 9x13 pan, greased it up, nice and greasy. Okay, we're gonna keep folding until it's all incorporated. So I'm gonna do this, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so it's all mixed. You can see there's no white. It's all nice and fluffy still. You see that fluffiness? You want to keep the fluffiness, right? So now what we're going to do is, like I said, it's a 9x13 pan. Grease it up real nice. We're going to go ahead and put this in there. Make sure to get every last bit, guys. Okay? And then what you're going to do is level it out. So we're going to have it nice and even. We're going to go ahead and put it in the oven. So this is going to cook at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. All right, let's put this here. Ooh, nice and hot. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and set the timer. All right, 30 minutes. All right, you guys, we're about 15 minutes, 16 minutes in. Let's take a quick peek. Ooh, so fluffy. All right, so I'm gonna take a knife to it in like a couple minutes, just to make sure that the inside is nice and, you know, just not runny. You know what I'm saying? So I'll check that in a minute. All right, guys, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take, watch out, puppy, back up. I'm gonna take this knife and stick it in there. Ooh, look at that. Clean. It's ready. I didn't even need the 30 minutes. So everyone's oven is different. So make sure that you check every like 10 or 15 minutes. Just make sure that you check, okay? So that way you don't burn it. Oh, look at this cake. So that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna let this cool a little bit, and then we're gonna come back to do the rest. All right, guys, so the cake is in the fridge cooling, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do the milk mixture, just so we can get this ready, okay? Now, guys, when I first made this, well, let me tell you what I'm mixing first. So I'm gonna put a can of evaporated milk, okay, 2 cans of condensed milk. Now, this was a special request, okay? You can do it with just 1 can. And this is for those that really like it super sweet. Then you can put 2 cans. So this was a special request by the host. So I am doing as I was told, okay? But you can do this with just 1 can. Trust me, 1 can is definitely enough, okay? Because this stuff is super, super sweet. We're gonna go ahead and put both cans. Look at all that yumminess. Oh, I love, you know what though? I love this stuff. But too much of it, I can't handle. Because it's so sweet. Anyway, and then we're gonna add a whole pint, just one of these things, of the heavy whipping cream. You would want to use a whisk to incorporate it. I can't find a whisk, so a fork will do. Alright, that's good. What you want to do is take a fork and stab the cake. Make sure you get the corners, because usually the corners are a little thicker. So I just flipped it upside down into this pan because it's easier to transport in one of these, and it doesn't have to be this, it doesn't have to be a pan this thick, I mean this deep. This was all I could find, guys. I mean, when Instacart brings you something, you just gotta go with what they bring you, right? So I'm just stabbing it everywhere to make sure that it has enough holes to absorb all this liquid. So, by the way, guys, my measurements were wrong on the milk mixture. You're not going to use a whole pint of the heavy whipping cream. You only want to use a 1/4 cup. So I had to redo it. I had to redo it, but it's okay. You know, that's what happens when you do too much at one time. All right, so now that it's coated, we're gonna take the mix and we're gonna pour it right on the cake. So you're gonna start to see that it's gonna like start absorbing it. Literally gonna be like a sponge, and it's gonna absorb all this liquid. Okay, so don't be afraid to pour it because it could handle it. Okay. And then it's gonna be super moist, perfect to eat. So you see how it already absorbed everything on top, right? So we're just gonna put a little bit more. And that is it. All right, so now we're gonna take it just like this. So I'm gonna show you guys. Let me see if I can show you guys. You see right there, let me see. You see the edge? You can see on the edge that there's liquid. So we're gonna sit this for, like I said, for about 30 minutes in the fridge. And when I bring it back, you're gonna see that most of that liquid is gonna be already in the cake, okay? And then we can work on doing the topping. All right, you guys, time to make the whip for the tres leches. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one of these, just a whole pint of this heavy whipping cream in there. Yum. And we're gonna make our own whipped cream. All right, so then you also want to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. So I'm gonna grab that while this mixes. I'm gonna start it on low because it's extremely watery right now. So I'm gonna get the sugar and we can add it. All right, so we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2, 3, and now we let it whip. Let's whip it, baby. Let's whip it. Let me stop before YouTube turn me off. Oh yeah, we're gonna let it whip a little bit, and then I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. All right, you guys, look at that. OMG. Oh, that looks so good. All right, so now we're gonna take this and we're gonna top the cake. All right, guys, so this is the cake. As you can see from the sides, I'm not gonna tilt it too much, but you can see that a lot of the milk mixture is already incorporated. So it'll keep doing, it'll keep doing it as it's in the fridge. So what we're just gonna top it, and then we're gonna leave it in the fridge until we go to the party, pretty much. So let me just put it on so you guys can see. And it's literally like whipped cream. It's literally like whipped cream. Now you can top this if you want. You can put strawberries on top. You can put any kind of fruit on top, cherries. It's really, again, personal preference. I don't like anything on top. I like it just how it is. So we're gonna make sure to get all of it. And that is it, you guys. This is a tres leches. Now when I go to the party tonight, I will cut myself a piece and show you guys the finished product if I remember. Hopefully, cross your fingers. Hopefully I remember. But yeah, that's it, just like that. So I'm also making mac and cheese. So this recipe I got from, y'all know Tia and Tamara, right? Mari, sister. So I got the recipe from her, and guys, it's like the best mac and cheese. Okay. I'm gonna link, I think she did a video too. I'm gonna see if I can find both videos, and I'll link both. I'll do the tres leche one and also post the mac and cheese. Although I know a lot of people have their own way. I just like doing it. It tastes really good the way she made it. So I copied it. So that's what I'm gonna make. So let me get all the stuff so we can start cutting it up at least, okay? All right, so first things first. You gotta put some pasta to boil. So I just got 2 boxes, elbows from Walmart. Put them to boil, right? Or wait, put the water to boil so then I can throw them in there. In the meantime, I'm gonna start cutting all this stuff because it's a lot. So we're gonna cut a whole stick of butter. We're just gonna cut it in chunks so it's easier in the pot. We're gonna have 4 ounces of cream cheese. So if you get one of the big blocks, you're just gonna cut it in half. And this is like room temperature. Makes it easy for it to melt in the macaroni. Like once you mix it in. Once it comes time to mix it in. Just cut this paper. Okay. So we're just gonna put that one to the side for now. Okay, so now the butter. We're gonna go ahead and cut into like just into cubes. Again, it just makes it melt easier. So I don't have a big kitchen. My kitchen is actually very, very small. And I don't have counter space. Like this is what you see is all I have. That's the only counter space. So what I did was, because I have a double sink, I got this cutting board and I put it over the other half of the sink, so it gives me more space. So I'm sure people already know that, but in case you don't, there you go. So now you're gonna need 4 blocks of 8-ounce sharp cheddar. This is a 32-ounce mega block. So this is pretty much what you need, 32 ounces of cheese. And we're gonna go ahead and cut this as well. Look at all that cheese. Yummy. So normally what I do is I just put it this ways. And then you're gonna cut it into blocks. Or into cubes rather. Again, this just helps it melt quicker. Nothing special, no science behind it. So now everything is cubed, ready to go. Okay. So this is done. All the butter is ready to go. The cream cheese is going to be hard to cut because it's so soft already. But we're going to attempt it anyway, because this needs to be in cubes as well. Again, just helps it melt easier. I'm actually going to leave it on the paper so that way I can pick it up easier later. Alright, now once all that's done, we're going to start bringing it over to the stove, and I'm going to bring it with me. Alright guys, so we got the pan over here. You want to get a skillet to melt all this goodies in. Alright, you're going to have it on low heat. This is a slow and steady process, guys. Make sure you have enough arm strength because once the cheese comes in, you have to constantly stir. There's no slowing down. Okay. So we're gonna put the butter. Alright, so we're gonna put the butter first. And this butter is gonna help all that cheese to not stick to this pan, okay? Because it's a whole lot of cheese, guys. We're gonna let this melt. Once it melts, then we're gonna start putting the cheese. Alright, so now you see that the butter has completely melted, right? So now we'll start adding all the cheese. Whoop. So like I said, this is a slow and steady process, guys. So I'm gonna let this melt for a little bit and then I will bring you guys back. Alright guys, so as you can see, all the cheese is in here melting. Right? There's still a few chunks that you could, like that. So you want to make sure that there's no chunks before you add the macaroni. So when you see it like this, now you can add the egg. Now here's a trick with the egg, okay? Because it's hot. Well, for one, I only beat it lightly. I didn't just fully beat it. You don't want this to become scrambled eggs. So the trick is to stir as you're adding it. And you want to add it slowly, okay? This is hard to do. This is hard to do without holding. But yeah, so you want to put a little bit, stir it up. Put another little bit. You guys can see, I stir it up quick so that it doesn't turn into scrambled eggs. Because you don't want that. Oh, man, you listen. When I tell you this is an arm workout and we haven't even added the macaroni yet, okay? My arm's already tired, guys. All right, we're gonna put the last of this egg. Stir it up. Just one egg. That's all you need. So one egg. When you see these little chunks, try to break it up a little bit. So what I do is I just grab it scoop by scoop. This part you guys can do however you want. I mean, all right, you guys, this is all the macaroni. My arm is so tired right now, right? So now, because it's still on the heat, you still want to keep stirring. You know, you don't want to let it touch because then it can burn, and that's the last thing you want. So let me. Ooh, look at that. Yum. All right, so now after you've done all of that, now you want to add, all right, now you want to add the 4 ounces of cream cheese. So remember we cubed it already. So we're going to add that. And you're going to add 3/4 cup of half and half. Okay? And I just put it at room temperature. And now we're gonna mix this until all the cream cheese melts. All right, you guys, I think that's the last of the cream cheese, all nice and melted. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, there's another piece right there. So once it's all melted and all incorporated, that is all you gotta do. Now we're gonna transfer it into a bigger pan and we're gonna pop it in the oven and bake it. We're gonna add some Parmesan and some panko crumbs. Make it nice and crunchy. Guys, trust me. All right, so let me get the pan ready and then I'll bring you guys back. All right, guys. So now it's time to put it in the pot, in the pan. All right, so what I did was I preheated the oven, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting our mac. I like to layer this. Now this is all personal preference as far as measurements goes with the panko crumbs and the Parmesan cheese. Oh my gosh, you guys, look how cheesy. Oh my gosh. That looks so good. Ooh. Looks absolutely... Pardon my child in the background. You know, we're all home today, so you know how that goes. All right, so I've put it at like halfway. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some panko crumbs. So I just use plain old, oops, let me see if you can see. Just regular panko. I'm just gonna sprinkle it, right? And then the Parmesan, regular grated. Well, it's kind of backwards, but y'all get it. Parmesan cheese, you know Parmesan cheese. So again, just sprinkle it to your preference. I like doing this in the middle because it gives it a nice crunch, like throughout the whole panko crumbs. Oh, so good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and finish the rest. Go ahead and do more Parmesan. Okay. And we're gonna put the panko. This is so good. I can't wait to try it, guys. Okay. There's that. And that is it. Now I need both hands to put this in the oven, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven just until it gets a little brown on top. That's it. There's not really a time. Again, it depends on your oven, okay? But it's gonna give it like that nice little crunch on top. Again, if you want to put more shredded cheese, you can. If you want to add anything else, I don't know what else you can add, but if you want to add anything else, you can. But this is how I do mine. So I will bring you guys back when it's done. I'm about to take the mac and cheese out of the oven so I can show you guys that real quick. And that is it. You guys, I wish you guys could smell this. This came out so perfect. It's nice and crispy. Oh, you can see like right there and like right there. Oh my god. You guys. Oh, I cannot wait to eat this. I should try a little piece, but I never really do. I always just take it and eat it over there. But yeah, so that is it for my food, guys. I'll see you in a bit. And then we gotta go get ready. We gotta get ready to go to the dinner. So I will see you guys in a few.